Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Vance. In today's tutorial, we'll be making this wedding dress worn by Priscilla Ojo, made by Veekee James. So if you're interested in this tutorial, sit tight and watch this video to the end. So this is the chantilly lace I'm going to be using for this project. I'll be making use of a crepe fabric. I'll be making use of a satin fabric. I'll be making use of cups like bra cup. I'll be making use of boning, hasty. This video is fully loaded with a lot of techniques. A lot. So basically, if this is what you want to learn how to make this type of dress, this type of wedding dress. It's not just a dress. It's a wedding dress made by one of the biggest designers in Africa. So watch, sit tight, let us draft it. So basically these are the available material that I'll be using to do this, but there are still more that I'm going to get. I've not gotten the nets that I will use for the yoke part and the rest. The trimmings, I have not gotten them, but I will get them. So watch this video to the end. So I'm going to set it all aside. This is the pattern paper that I'll be using. I folded my pattern paper into two. The next thing I went ahead to do is to bring out all of the tools that I'll be using, which is my ruler, my marker pen, pencil, my tape for the drafting of this. So what I'm going to do next is to start with the starting line, that's the shoulder line. I'm going to go ahead and roll it out. When I'm done rolling out, I'll go ahead and take the vertical measurement. The vertical measurement here includes the bust points, the under bust points, the half length and the full length of the blouse. So my bust is 10, my bust point is 10, my under bust is 13, my half length is 15 and a half. I added 2 inches for bust dart, so making it 17 and a half. And then from that 17 and a half, I'm going to come down by 6 inches, and I'll go ahead and mark the 6 inches just like this. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead and extend all of these lines, marking out same thing, my bust points, my under bust, my half length, which is 17 and a half, and then the 6 inches after the 17 and a half. So basically, when I'm done marking it out, I'll go ahead and use my ruler to connect the points into a straight line, just the way you see me doing. So when I'm done connecting, I'll go to my starting line and impute my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. I marked it. I came down from that 7 by 1 inch. To get my armhole line, I divided my bust by 6 plus 1.5. Whatever I had, I marked it there. And then I went ahead to use my ruler to make it into a straight line. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead now and indicate the lines, which is my CL. This line is my CL, my bust points, my under bust, my waistline, and the full length of our blouse, so FL. So from that MCL, I'm going to go ahead and replace my shoulder measurement, which is 7. I'm going to mark it here, and then I'll use my ruler to connect it to the 1 inch shoulder slope I came down by, just the way you see me doing. So when I'm done with this, guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and divide my armhole into 2, just like this. I marked it. From that point, I came in by ½ inch to get my armhole curve, and then from my chest line, I divided my bust into 4. I went ahead to mark it. So when I'm done marking it, I'm going to go ahead and connect all of these points together to get my armhole curve. So this was me connecting all of the points together to get my armhole curve, just the way you see me doing. So guys, when I'm done with this, I'll go to the shoulder line I'll go ahead and impute my neck width. So the neck width I'll be using will be 2.7. Remember, this is a high neck, so you don't want it to be too wide. So I use 2.7 for my neck width and 2.7 for my neck depth. What I'm going to do is I'll use my French curve to connect these 2 points together, and I'm going to go ahead and take my shoulder slope. So I'm rolling out my shoulder slope like this. So when I'm done, guys, I'll go ahead and impute my nipple to nipple. My nipple is 8 divided by 2 is 4. I went ahead to mark this 4 inches straight to the full length of our blouse, just the way you see me doing. So when I'm done marking the 4 inches nipple to the full length, I'll go ahead and use my ruler to connect it into a straight line, just the way you see me doing like this. So guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you've not liked, hit the like button to like my video. So from the underbust, I'm going to go in by 1.3 inches, while for this other side I'll come out by 0.75. so I'll mark it, and I'll also do the same thing for the waistline. I'm going to mark all of the dots, 1.3, 0.7. I'll do the same thing for the full length also. I'll use my ruler to connect all of the points together, just the way you see me doing, into a straight line. So when I'm done connecting this, we are going to go ahead and get our bust curve. So from the bust point, I use my French curve to connect it to the underbust, just the way you see me doing, and I'll also do the same thing for this part. So when I'm done, guys, I'll go to my shoulder slope. I'll divide my shoulder slope by 2. So this was me dividing my shoulder slope by 2. I went ahead to fold my tape like this, and then I marked what I got there. I will now go ahead and connect it to the nipple to nipple that I marked initially. So this was me connecting it, guys. So when I'm done with this, remember we are having a V-neck, V plunging neckline. So what I'm going to do now to achieve that plunging neckline, from my waistline I'm going to come up by 2.5 inch from my waistline. So this was me marking out my 2.5 inches from my waistline. So from that 2.5 inches, I'm going to connect it all the way, just the way you see me doing, down to my mid armhole. So I'm going to use my ruler to get that curve, that exact curve that I will connect. So I'm using my French curve right now to connect that line to my armhole line to get the plungy neckline. So this was it when I marked it out. Are you seeing, guys? So when I'm done with this, I'm going to just go ahead and get my dart. So the aim for dividing my across that my shoulder slope into 2 is to get the tightening around this part. So for the tightening, I'm going to go in by ½ inch from the center front, and I'll go in by 1 inch for the side front. So when I'm done marking it, I'm going to use my ruler to connect it to the bust point, just the way you see me doing. Are you seeing our chest line around that place? It's already tightened. So to tighten it more, like to give it a better curve, I went ahead to fold my pattern like this, because if I don't give it this curve, it's going to get short around that area, and this dress is not going to come out at all. So I had to fold my pattern into 2 like this, and I went ahead to recurve it, just the way you see me doing. So I want you to pay attention to every detail, watch closely, and you're going to understand what I'm saying. So basically, we are no more using that part that I just marked. We are going to use this new mark that I made. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and now extend this armhole line by 1 inch. So this was me when I extended it. I also extended it in my chest line. So I'll go ahead now and use my ruler to connect to the 1 inch, and then I'll use the curved part of my ruler to also connect to the 1 inch that I made on the chest line. So basically this is our new armhole line. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead and take my measurements. So my bust measurement are divided by 4. I marked it. I went ahead now to replace the darts that I had from there, and I'll also mark it, and I'll add my allowance. I'll do the same thing, guys, for the underbust. So for the underbust, I'm going to divide by 4. I'll replace the darts and I'll add my allowance. I'll do the same thing for the waist too. My waist divided by 4, I marked it, I replaced the dart, and then I went ahead to add my allowance. So for the full length, I went ahead to use my hip measurement divided by 4, and then I marked the dart allowance, and then I also marked my allowance. That's the dart leg, and then I went ahead to connect all of the points together just the way you see me doing. So basically the front part does not really have a lot of trouble, it's just the back. So for my bust point, I'm going to come down by 2 inches for my bust dart, and then I'll go ahead and connect it like this. So when I'm done, guys, we are almost done with the front block. So what I'm going to do now is for this upper part, that's the shoulder length, remember it's a high neck, I'm going to do the increase in the high neck later on, but right now all I'm going to do is to highlight the parts that I'm going to be cutting out and the part that I will not cut out. So this was me highlighting all of this together just the way you see me doing, and then I went ahead to mark it all out. So when I'm done with this, guys, remember that the yoke we are still going to extend. So we are going to go ahead and set this aside to draft the back. So guys, this is the pattern paper for the back. I'll go ahead and roll out my starting line just the way you see me doing. So from this starting line, I'm going to go ahead and replace and mark the vertical measurement, the same I did for the front. That's the same vertical measurement I'm going to mark out for the back. So for the vertical measurement for the back, my bust point, my under bust, my half length, and then the 6 inches. So my half length is 15.5. There is no need to add 17.5 or adding 2 extra inch because the back does not have bust dart. So I maintained the half length, which is the 15.5. So I went ahead to rule out all of this and points together to make it a straight line. So when I'm done with this, guys, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to mark the zip allowance. So for my zip allowance, I'll be making use of 1 inch for the zip allowance. So I'm going to mark this 1 inch across all of the points that I make down to the full length. When I'm done, I'm going to use my ruler to connect all these points together to make it a straight line. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead and impute my shoulder measurement 7. I'll come down by 1 inch, and then to get my armhole line, I'll mark it. My bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. I marked it. I went ahead to use my ruler to connect into a straight line. So from this point, guys, I'm going to indicate the chest line, the bust line, under bust, waistline, and the full length. When I'm done with this, guys, on the chest line, I'm going to repeat the shoulder measurement, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect it down to the 1 inch shoulder slope I came down by. Then I'll go ahead and divide my armhole by 2 like this, and then I'll divide my bust by 4. I'll mark it, and then I'll use my ruler to connect it to get my armhole curve for the back. When I'm done with this, guys, I'll get the neck width for the back, which is 2.7, and the neck depth, which is 1 inch that I'll be using. The back is also a high neck, so that was why I used 1 inch for the neck depth for the back. So I went ahead to connect these points together like this, and then I went ahead to roll out my shoulder slope. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll go ahead now and mark the nipple to nipple measurement. So my nipple to nipple is 8. So I'm going to go ahead and divide the 8 by 2, giving me 4. So I'll mark the 4 inches straight to the full length of the blouse. I'll go ahead and use my ruler to connect the points into a straight line just like this. So guys, for my dart, I'll go to the full length and mark 1/2 inch on both sides just like this. upper chest, I marked the distance between my bust point to the underbust, which is 3. Then from my bust point, I marked that place the 3 inches there to mark what I have. I'll use my ruler to connect it, just like this. So when I'm done, I'm going to extend the nipple to the new upper chest. So from that upper chest, to tighten that part, I'm going to come in by 0.25, and then I'm going to connect it to the ½ inch that I marked at the full length. So the back side of this our drafting is going to be a zip and a corset back. It's a combination of zip and a corset back. So guys, if you remember at the thumbnail, it has a v-neck. The back has a v-neck. So from my armhole midpoint, I'm going to connect it to the bust point, just like this. Not exactly the bust point, but almost to the bust point, like this, to get that v neck at the back. So this was me when I marked it out, and then this is going to be my yoke. So I'll go ahead and indicate yoke, that's back yoke. So this is going to be my back yoke. Remember that there'll be buttons around the yoke, although we are going to clean this part because this is not where the button is going to be. It's going to be across the 1 inch zip allowance I made. So guys, I'll go ahead now and take my measurement. So my bust measurement divided by 4, I marked it and I replaced my dart, and I also went ahead to mark my allowance. My waist measurement divided by 4, I marked it, I replaced my dart, and then I marked my allowance. When I'm done with this, I'll also go ahead and head up to the full length. My hip measurement divided by 4, I replaced the dart, and then I marked my allowance. So guys, from where our zip started, I'll go ahead and mark 2 inches because this 2 inches is where our corset back is going to start. So remember, we always minus 2 inches from the back to get that tightening around the back. Remember, this part is going to be the corset back. So basically, after I was done marking it out, I'm going to go ahead and now connect my points that I made for my bust, my waist, and my full length together, just the way you see me doing. So guys, this point that I make, I'm going to go ahead now and mark where, so this mark here is where my eyelet is going to sit. If you're very conversant with corsets, you will know that 2 inches I marked is where we are going to minus from the back. So this part now is where the eyelet is going to sit, the part that I made. So I'm going to go ahead now and erase the initial mark that I made, because that's not where the button is going to be around that back yoke. The button is going to be around this part. So that is where the button is going to be. I hope you understand, guys. I just really hope you do understand. So this is where the button is going to be. This is the back yoke. I'm trying to highlight it so that you're going to understand better. So when I'm done with this, guys, I'll just go ahead and highlight where we are going to be cutting out. I will repeat again. The back part of this drafting is going to have a zip, and it will also have a corset back. Because when you check the dress that Priscilla wore, there's a zip around the back, and there's also a corset. There's an invisible corset. So when they laced the back, they now zipped it up. After the lacing, they now zipped it up. So this was me still highlighting to make it more clearer. So at this point, guys, I'm going to go ahead and replace my dart around the armhole. So this dart now, I'm going to replace it around the armhole like this. I'm going to mark it, and I'll also extend it to my chest line. So this will be our new armhole line. So I'm going to also go ahead now and use to also highlight it with my marker pen, just like this. So I'm going to highlight all of these patterns with my marker pen, and I'm also going to use my tracing wheel to trace out the parts for the zip and the parts for the corset. So basically, I was still highlighting just for more clarity and to make the work easier for me too. So watch closely what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead now and indicate my zip allowance for the back. Then from this zip allowance, I'm going to eliminate bulges around my waist area. So to eliminate it, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides, just like this, across the waistline, and I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler to connect it straight to the waistline. So this 1/2 inch now, I'm going to go ahead and replace it at the full length. Remember, when you eliminate bulges around the waistline like this, you have to replace it. So it's 1 inch I used. I'm going to replace that 1 inch just the way you see me doing. So this was me replacing all of the 1 inch, and when I marked it, I'll use my ruler to connect it into a straight line. So this is now our new full length of the blouse. I hope you understand. So guys, if you found value in my tutorial so far, please do well to subscribe, hit on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video, guys. Like, share, comment. So this one was when I was indicating the corset part of the pattern. So basically, guys, I'm going to go ahead now to use my tracing wheel to trace all of these points, because I want it to reflect to the other end of the pattern, so that I can now cut out the part that I'll be using for the zip and the parts that I'll be using for the corset. So when I'm done with it, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So this was when I was done with the tracing and the marking of it all. So I'll go ahead now and cut out the parts that I will first use for the zip before the corset. So this was me cutting out the patterns. So I'm separating the parts for the zip. So this part now is where I'm going to pay attention to right now, because this is the part that I will use for the zip. So I went ahead to close my darts, and then this part I'll go ahead also to open up the darts and then cut out my neck yoke, and I'll place the other parts that I cut out on it like this, side by side, and I'm going to use my pin to hold it down. But you know I don't mind. Yeah, right, yeah, right. Yeah, right, yeah, right. Yeah, right. So this was me holding it down with my pin, guys. So are you seeing? This part is ready. I'm going to add extra to that part, so it doesn't matter. So this part is ready. This is our zip part. So I will indicate zip part at this end, guys, so you will know that is the zip part that I'll be using for this part. I hope you understand. And this is where the button is going to sit. So I also went ahead to indicate it all. So I'm going to bring in the other pattern paper so that I'll cut out the corset part. So this was me when I brought in the pattern paper to cut out the corset part. So watch closely what I'm doing. But you know I don't mind. Yeah, right, yeah, right. Yeah, right, yeah, right. So guys, this is it. This is our corset back now. Hope you now understand. So I'm going to go ahead and close my dart for the back. That's the zip bulge part. So I'm going to go ahead and close it up just like this. And then I'm also going to go ahead and open up the dart for the back. So this was me opening up the back dart so that I will place it side by side to close it up. So I went ahead to close up my dart like this. I'll use my pin to secure it down. So this was me securing it. Are you seeing, guys? Everything is going to come out clean if you use this method. So basically this is it for the corset back. I'm going to bring in the zip part. So this part I indicated arrow is the upper part, so you should also indicate so that you won't have to make mistakes. So this is the other part for the zip. Are you seeing? Are you seeing, guys? Are you seeing? So this is looking good, the corset and the zip. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and then I'll bring in the front block. Remember, we have not added allowance for the yoke. It's a high neck, so we are going to extend the neckline. So this was me cutting out the front piece, just the way you see me doing. Guys, if you've not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to my channel, like my video, comment, share to your friend who wants to learn how to draft this wedding dress that was worn by Priscilla and made by Veekee James. So basically this is it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and open my darts. That's my bust dart. I'll close it up with the pin. I'll also close this other part also with the pin. Are you seeing? I'm going to open it up like this. So basically this is the front. I'm still going to extend the neck width of the front because it's a high neck. So this was me indicating all of my piece, the center front, the side front. I indicated all of them so I will not make a mistake. So guys, thank you for watching my video to the end. We have come to the end of this drafting part. In our next tutorial, guys, I'll be teaching you how to cut it step by step because it's a wedding dress, and I'll be showing you the finishing of this. So guys, bye.